Hey girls, hey. Hey boys, hey. Welcome back to my channel. It's Mama Beauties here. This is what I wake up and look like every morning. This is before my Mary Kay. So as you can see, I have dark circles around my eyes naturally. My skin is not an even skin tone. And so Mary Kay does a lot for me. I do have a clear complexion because of my skincare, but I am 41 years old. Let's not forget. But God rest these people's souls. I don't know how many people are up on Saturday at 8:30 in the morning, but I had my granddaughter all night last night. And so here we are at 8:30. I just laid her back down for a nap. She goes to bed about 8:30 at night, and Nana fell asleep. Myself, I passed out super early, probably right after she did, because if you're smart and you're like me and you've had 5 kids already and you've raised 5 babies, you know to sleep when they sleep. So this will be my 6th one, and she's my granddaughter. So I know to sleep when she sleeps. So as soon as she went to sleep last night, I went to sleep. And so I woke up this morning, and yesterday morning I could have given you guys like exclusive information that I had. And because I wanted to get all cute and make sure that no one ever saw me without my um what I call fixing ugly, even though that's a joke, you guys. Makeup does not make you pretty. Makeup does not make you beautiful. That is just a joke that I say to people. I'm like, I got to go fix ugly, which means I don't have my makeup on. But that's not true. It's just a joke. So please don't think that makeup makes you pretty, because it doesn't. But then I decided, you know what? These are my people. These are my friends. Who cares? They deserve to see what I look like underneath my mask. So I've been researching all morning about Heidi, and one thing keeps coming. Oh, hi Tristan, hi Danielle. One thing that keeps coming over and over in my head, you guys, is that that Megan hasn't been charged with murder. She was charged with kidnapping, and she was charged with tampering with a corpse, but she was not charged with murder. Another news outlet says that Heidi was strangled with a implement, or like ligature. But that's the only news source that's repeating that. So you know how that goes. If it's just one news source repeating it, you don't know if they got exclusive information or if they're just lying, hoping that they are getting it right. So please do not go on that until we actually hear it from authorities and law enforcement. Hi, Donna. But what I thought is maybe this Christopher Green, because Christopher Green owned the house. Megan owned the car. That's where there's a lot of misreporting and discrepancies in this case. The thing is that someone else said that Megan did not own that car. Yes, she did. The car was registered to Megan, and the home was registered to Christopher Green. So the only way Christopher would not know about this is if he did not have sex with her the whole time she was faking her pregnancy. That's the only way he wouldn't have known. Or maybe, I guess after 3 months, because that's when you really start showing, is 3 months. So he wouldn't have been able to have sex with her for 6 months if Megan was faking a pregnancy, because she would not want him to touch her barren abdomen. Her abdomen had no baby in it. So I don't know how she would have pulled that off if she was living there. Then I just don't understand. Now, the thing is if that's Christopher's house, Megan was telling Heidi's other best friend that they all met at church camp decades ago. She was telling her that her and her fake pregnancy baby daddy were on the rocks, and that they weren't really together. So that she was a single mom of this fake baby. So Megan Ferruccio, but I guess she goes by Megan Humphrey as well. Yes, Megan has been arrested. She actually had to appear in court on Friday, you guys, when they took her detained her and took her into custody on Thursday night when they found the baby and the body at the house that she was at. But then the next day, she had to appear in court in her red sweatshirt for traffic tickets, it looked like. She had some traffic tickets that she had to face as well. So she was in court, but she was only arrested, you guys, for tampering with the corpse and kidnapping. So that must mean that Christopher is the one that murdered her, correct? Why is she not being charged with murder? They know it's a homicide. They know she kidnapped, and they know that she tampered with the corpse. But do they not know that she murdered? Did she sing like a canary to the police about Christopher, and Christopher's the one being charged? They did say in the conference yesterday that more charges could possibly be coming, but no one has been charged with murder in the first degree because it was premeditated. Yeah, I know they transferred her to Austin last night. I also wanted to answer some questions because there are some comments. Yeah, that's true, Danielle. They need a cause of death so they know what to charge her with. That makes sense. But it's premeditated, so she is going to be hit. One of them are. And where is the boyfriend? Where is this Christopher Green at? I want to know what's going on with him. All right, so let me just answer some of these questions because there's a lot of questions in my comment section that aren't really accurate. Your channel. Yes, it's very crazy, you guys. All right. So my first video was yesterday. 52 likes and only 1 dislike. Let's go in the order. Sad story, wicked people out there. I still suspect Shane, though. Thank God, baby alive. Shane about Heidi, poor girl, horrid. Yes, Mama, you're so right. How could Megan do this? Mind boggles. Absolutely respect your thumbnail. You truly are who I thought you were, a caring, passionate creator. Depends who her boyfriend is. Her boyfriend is Christopher Green, Burnett Whitehead. But why would she be happy to babysit, etc.? Such a waste. Evil, evil, evil. He still looks guilty. He knows more. Yeah, and they were best friends. She would have been the godmother of that baby. She would have been the one to babysit Margot. I mean, it's not like she wouldn't have been in Margot's life. That's just so disgusting that she was at the labor and delivery of this child and was around this mother of Heidi because she was at the labor and delivery, and knew she was plotting to kill her the whole time as soon as the mother left. Is Margot with Shane? I saw an article that stated in protective services. Tristan, no, they cannot give Margot to Shane. Margot might not be Shane's. So this is what happened. I said this on my video yesterday. You guys, my mom was murdered, all right? When I was only 14, Margot and Silas are 6 and a month old, okay? The same thing that happened to me is going to happen to Margot and Silas. Silas is Shane's, right? He's on the birth certificate. Somebody answer me that. Because her DNA needs to come back, because when my mom was murdered, we automatically went to my next of kin because my mom didn't have a will. The person that has primary custody of you has to have a will. If they do not have a will saying who they want their children to go to, what happened to me is going to happen to Margot. I am sent to my next of kin because I knew the paternity of my father. We went immediately to my father. I did not know him. I had not ever met him in my life. I met this man up here at 14 years old. When my mother was murdered by my stepfather, my next of kin was him. Now, granted, I was fortunate enough that he was a wonderful man. He was a police officer. He had a moral compass, and I was in good hands. But the paternity of Margot is unsure. So if paternity comes back that this Casey guy that she was with, within a week's time of being with Shane, that's why she doesn't know the paternity, or she assumed from conception date that the father was Shane. But if the baby comes back to belong to somebody else, the baby goes to him, not her parents, not his parents, Shane's parents, and not Shane. Unless Shane is the biological father, he will not get Margot, you guys. Yes, let's see. How was Heidi killed? Only one news source, North Korea, is saying that she was strangled by a ligature. But only one news source is saying that. And you know, news sources sometimes just jump the gun and they say random stuff, just hoping they'll be right. I found it very weird how police still wouldn't name Megan at the press conference. Yeah, and they, Danielle Marie, they wouldn't name Heidi or the baby either. Margot's with foster parents till her DNA comes back. Yes, exactly like I just explained. Think mother was suffocated or strangled. That's what a news source is reporting, Julie. Yes. Margot is, Danielle is right, and Celine is right. And I know that they're right because this happened to me, you guys. So even if you don't believe them in chat, this happened to me. My mom was murdered, and I had to go to a next of kin who I had no idea who he was. I had no former relationship with him. I'd only hugged his little legs when I was 2 years old. That was the only memory I had of this man. And I met this man at 14, 2 days after my mother was murdered. And I had no say. Even at 14, I had no say. I'm not sure about Silas being another man's because, Julie, they were together for 8 years, weren't they? And Silas is only 6. I think Margot was another man's. But correct me if I'm wrong. I heard about another woman in custody, but the police haven't officially said that, so it's speculation. Well, then maybe the other woman is the one that killed her because Megan has not been charged with murder, you guys. So it makes me think that they're either waiting on the autopsy to come back before they charge her, or they have someone else that did it, that did the murder, and she just kidnapped and messed with the body. Oh gosh, so sorry about you, Mama Heaven Angel. There have been many instances of women giving birth and never suspecting they were pregnant, and many of these same women had husbands and boyfriends who did not know. What do you mean, Nikki 61? You're trying to say that Krista, but she wasn't pregnant, Nikki. She wasn't pregnant at all. It was a fake pregnancy. So what I'm saying is, how did Megan hide a fake pregnancy from Christopher Green this whole time unless he was in on it? I'm not implying that boyfriend did not know, but perhaps he didn't. He will reserve judgment until further notice. You know what, Nikki? Before I said that, I said that she could have possibly pretended to be sick and pretended that she didn't want to be touched. But since you are trying to come at me and you obviously didn't watch this whole video and didn't see that I showed both sides, I showed how he could have not been involved at all. And I also just said how he could have been. So guess what? Bye, sister. How about that? You like apples? How you like them apples? You guys, I'm not gonna. I keep the most open mind than anyone I've ever seen in my entire life, and I can say that honestly and know that I am speaking truth by saying that. So I always give you guys this extreme and this extreme, and even somewhere in the middle. I don't just say my opinion and stick to that. I give you guys 100 different scenarios. I give you a scenario where the person is guilty. I give you a scenario where the person is innocent. I keep my mind open. So if you're going to come at me like that and pretend like I don't and try to say, let's save judgment for blah, 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 blah. I'm the only person that does that. So obviously you don't know me and you don't need to be here. I need friends here, uplifting and supportive friends. Okay. I was just talking about my mother being murdered and how I had to go meet a random dude who I'd never met before in my life, who was my biological father. And then you want to tell me I'm not keeping an open mind or keep the judgment for later. Well, keep off my channel. Love your chat, kind, honest lady. Nothing confirmed, but it sounds like the boyfriend and her were distant. Might have only let her stay because she was pregnant. Yes, Teresa. And I think that's how she kept him, maybe, by saying, but I'm pregnant, but I'm pregnant. And I said earlier that maybe he didn't know at all. I kept his name out of it completely. And I said, you know what? Maybe he didn't know. Maybe in the beginning she was saying, I'm too nauseous to be touched. Maybe they were on the rocks and he didn't want to be with her like that. But it's hard to hide a belly that isn't there for that long. Said that she only said she was preggers to hold on to her man or something. Exactly. And that's what I've said as well. Yep. And then she was freaking out because it was due date time and she didn't have a baby. And so she premeditated this thing the whole time. Or maybe when Heidi told her she was pregnant, Megan wished that she was too. And she could keep her man if she was. Yes, I love my daddy. This is a picture of him hanging up right here. He died in 2013. We met in 1992, and I died a daddy's girl. Daddy's little precious right here. His birth year, and his death date. I mean, he's on my leg. Yes, he was an amazing man, and I should have never been kept from him those 14 years. But yes, he was awesome. She looks like she gained weight, had a belly in her court hearing in Houston. Yeah, and she had to have had a belly when she was delivering Margot because it was her due date as well. Yes, my father was amazing. Okay, so let's see. What else do we got here? Why don't Shane take off that hat? Is he scratched up? Look how he keeps that pulled down on over his ears. Somebody posted this after Megan got caught, and you guys need to stop. I understand there's something off about Shane, and I will agree with you on that, but I only think he had something to do with it, like 20%, 25%. So that doesn't deserve him being blasted all over the internet, okay? If it was 50-50, yeah, blast him. There's only 50% chance you're wrong, but there's a 75% chance you're wrong, and so the poor man doesn't need his name ran across the coals and slandered and all of that. So can we please back off? Leave Shane alone. Just like Jim. Leave Shane alone. Yes, he's shady. He was abusive to Heidi, and he is not a good man. And you can tell all the women in the whole entire planet he is not dateable. But do not accuse him of murder. Now, he might have been involved somehow by getting a little chunk of money because he did seem a little distant from the baby, but we don't know that either. So we shouldn't elaborate on it. It's fine to throw out a speculation, but don't just beat a dead horse over and over and over and over. Say that you think he might be involved and move on. Maybe it was cold. Exactly. Thank you. Leave Shane alone. He is going through enough right now. And if Margot's not his, he's getting ready to go through another loss. So then, let's see, what else did somebody say? The house and car both belong to boyfriend Christopher Green. News conference today. That's not true, Jersey Angel. The house belongs to boyfriend, but well, it could be true because news sources are wrong all the time, Jersey Angel. So you could be right. But I read on a different source than you, obviously, that the car did belong to Megan and that the house belonged to Christopher. Okay. And then, so awful, but for some reason, I just can't shake the feeling that Shane is somehow involved. He might have taken something for his nerves, or maybe friends gave him something to calm him down before the interview, and that's why he was acting oddly and smiling, just trying to figure out his behavior. I could be way off here, though. Yeah, exactly. Someone could have gave him a Xanax or something, and he was just a little too comfortable. And we just don't know. Okay, so we need to leave that poor boy alone. Plus, when Chris did his interview, the reporters weren't saying, "Don't pick up that phone. Look at the camera. Don't look down." I mean, come on. He was getting rained across the coals for holding a phone up that the questions were being answered from. So they told him to hold the phone out of the sight, but yet he wanted to hear what the lady on the phone was saying. And whenever you speak on speakerphone, I don't know about you, but I always have my phone up to here, and then I put it on my ear, and then I put it on my mouth, and then I put it on my ear. And so he was just trying to keep from doing that. It was really hard to follow directions and get his point across, and he felt like a freaking goofball sitting down. I mean, whenever you're nervous, how many people sit down? I can't sit down when I'm nervous. I pace. When I'm on the phone and somebody's telling me something crazy, I rock, I walk back and forth, I pace. I cannot sit still. Am I a murderer? Am I? I rest my case. She was friends with her for 26 years, Julie Johnson. Thank you, Jennifer Ball. Well, another news source, Danielle Marie, said that they ran the plates and that the car came back to Megan. So I guess we'll just have to wait and find out. For discovery, the discovery is where the truth is. The media is not, you guys. There are things that are misreported in the media all the time. Guess what? There's going to be things misreported on my channel all the time. And I'm going to come back and I'm going to clear it up and we're all going to be good. This happens. It just happens, especially when you want exclusive. If you want to get the information out there before you get all the facts, then you're going to misreport. But Julie Johnson, 26 years or 24 at the least. I've kept away for a couple of weeks and just popped on, and you seem to have changed so much, Donna. I was one of your first subs, but it seems nobody can state their opinion anymore. Such a shame. See you later. Bye, JoJo Felicia. See your way out. They can state their opinion, but don't say that I shouldn't pass judgment on somebody when 5 seconds before that, I said he was innocent and that she lied about being pregnant. So I'm happy you're gone too. Deuces, JoJo. How many of you guys here know that I allow you to state your opinion? How many of you guys have been allowed to state your opinion and it be completely different than mine? 75% of you don't have the same opinion as me. And you are still here. Okay. So thank you. I'm super awkward and have a hard time making eye contact with the new people I meet. Yes, me too. And that's part of Asperger's as well. You have to learn to mimic eye contact. Yes, and they were nitpicking him. See, thank you, Tristan. Thank you, Donna. Thank you, Jennifer Ball. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And your opinion can differ from mine, and I respect that. But you're not going to come at me in my own comments and say that I need to do this, this, when I am doing it. And you're not going to come at me in my comments and say that I am not letting you state an opinion when I am doing it. If you're going to lie about me in my chat, you're going to get blocked. And that's it. What was it? I trolled you so. I trolled you so. And this is a sensitive subject, you guys. There ain't time to be nitpicking my channel when we're talking about someone's life that was taken. All right? Hi, Cam. Thank you so much. Yes, and your emails aren't my exact opinion either. And we chat and email, and I respect your opinion. I even had a psychologist respond to me and say that she loved my mind and how I was relatable to different cultures and different stereotypes of people that have different views than mine. And she loved the fact that I was able to like relate to them, even though we don't have the same views. Like I can relate to a pagan. I can relate to an atheist. I can relate to, just off the wall. I probably could even relate to a Mason, you guys. And I'm against all of that. But you can find common ground with people. You don't have to hate people because of their beliefs or because their opinions are different than yours. There is something inside both of you that you have in common, a common ground that you can come together on. We all have that common ground. Thank you. Exactly. Well, I did hear from, if you guys go to J is for Justice's channel on December 12th, J is for Justice did have one of Heidi's friends on there. And she told us a lot about her and Shane's relationship. So if you want to find out from somebody super close to Heidi, her name was Carissa, I believe, then go to J is for Justice's channel on December 12th and watch that 5.5-hour live, you guys. She had her other best friend that met at church camp this same year. So 3 of them met at church camp this same year. Megan and Heidi. Megan's the one that stole Heidi's baby and possibly killed her, or Christopher killed her, or another girl. Speculation, there's another girl. And this other girl that she met at the same time got a call from Megan just randomly, and she wondered how she had her phone number. She had her phone number because she had a Heidi's phone. So you can go listen to what that girl said about the last 25 years of Heidi's life. So she's been friends with her too. They all met as teenagers at church camp. And Heidi always told this girl that Jay had on her channel that Megan didn't like her. And so she found it odd that Megan was calling her when Heidi was missing and wondered how she got her phone number. And it was actually on the live that this friend realized that it was Megan, and it was when they found the body. So I know Jay is for Justice has talked crap about me in my own comment section and tell me that I'm too loud and was hating on me when I only had 1,000 subscribers. But I was inspired by her to make this channel, you guys. I ain't gonna lie. I was inspired by her. I was like, if this girl can do it, I can do it. Like, I'm just as articulate as her. I actually can be less biased and can be completely unbiased and let everyone have an opinion. So, you know what? I can show respect to someone that has talked crap about me. That's just who I am. Like, I'm not going to hold a grudge. I'm not going to rent space in my head trying to get back at her for her comments. That's just, so I'm going to still show her love and tell you guys to go watch that 5.5-hour live. You can fast forward through the stuff that you don't really need to hear. But her friend is on there and she gives a very up close and personal take of Shane and Heidi. So yes, you can go watch that. I'm not going to hate on anybody. I'm going to. Yes, that's Monty. What's his name? Monty Mox or something. Brian Moxley. Is that his name? I subscribe to him. Yes, the other father of the baby reached out to Brian Moxley, I think. Let me tell you his exact name. by my library. I was watching him that night too. So J is for Justice had Heidi's friend on. And then this other guy, his name is Braun, B-R-A-U-N, Braun Moxley. Let me put him in the chat box, you guys. And he was emailed by the potential father of Margot, the other potential father, B-R-A-U-N, and then Moxley. This is his name. And you guys already know J is for Justice, so you can go find her yourself. Okay, so if I was judged how I talked, everyone would have had me. She was on the news last night for that interview. Can we get an amen from the back row? Says Mama Beauties. No thanks. Like your lives only. Same here, Jennifer Ball. Y'all are sweet. Amen. Tammy McAfee. Hey, Tammy. Braun Moxley. Yeah, I put his name in there. My mom named Donna. Oh, that's cool. Thank you, Cocoa Puffs. You are amazing. We got to get you scheduled so you can come tell your survivor story. All right, so now I'm going to go back and finish up these questions just so there's no discrepancies going on. And I really prefer to answer my comments live anyway, just because it's easier than typing a quick response. You get more of an answer when I do it this way. Let's see. Thank God, baby, alive. Shame about Heidi. Poor girl. Horrid. And then that was the first video I did. The next one was yesterday. And it's got 14 comments. Hold on. The domestic abuse really bothers me also. I feel that he knows more than he is told. Even if he didn't kill her, did he aid in any way to make this happen? Perhaps all the strange, guilty acting behavior was his guilt of domestic violence. He knew it was bound to come out in the investigation. Lately, it does not appear he was that upset or concerned she and baby were gone. Okay, well, did you guys stop to think about this? Since he really didn't know what happened to her, maybe he cussed her out that morning. Maybe he told her, that baby ain't mine. You're from one side down the other. Maybe he cussed her for everything that she was worth because her mom finally left and he could finally unleash the demon and tell her that she was worthless. And maybe he was scared that she had committed suicide because of him. Maybe he thought it was him that would, because she was gone. Maybe he was feeling guilty for the way that he treated her before he left, and he felt somewhat responsible in case she took her own life, knowing that women had postpartum. We do not know until we get more information, you guys. With Chris Watts, we knew it. We knew it. We don't know. There's not that strong. Oh, I see it. I see it right there. You guys see that? He's guilty. Oh, yeah, he's guilty. We all saw it. We all felt the same. We all don't feel the same when it comes to Shane. Half of us are on this side. Half of us are on this side. So chill out with the Shane. All right. Shane did not fail a polygraph. There's nothing, absolutely nothing mentioned about a polygraph, for God's sakes. This could be true, but her own friend of 26 years said he did. Nurse Collins. So can you please go watch J is for Justice and listen to her friend Carissa say 4 different times that he failed a polygraph? Thank you. Drive through. All right. Her mom called the police, someone said. I still feel he's involved somehow. I think that there's more to this, and I hope there's a trial. Well, if there's a plea deal, you guys, you're not getting nothing. You're going to get the same thing you got with Chris Watts, and if she signs a plea deal, you will never know. And people just have to be okay with that. People just have to learn to accept that there are some cases that there's a plea deal on and that we will never know. It's not going to trial if she signs a plea deal. There's more to this. The house where Margot was found was owned by Christopher Green and Megan Humphreys. They registered baby 3 days before Margot was born, December 1st. They were up on social media as Christopher's baby. Part of the feels a man was involved. Shane and Heidi broke up many times. Maybe Megan had a motive. I feel sick with this case. Me too, Twiggy. I thought she'd lost a baby. Nope. We don't know that. From what everyone is saying is that, and she may have had a miscarriage, but from what everyone is saying, it's she faked her pregnancy to premeditate this murder. Oh, that's funny, Jennifer. That is so funny. Celine. Rest in peace, Heidi, Julie. That's right. I like the idea of reading the comments from previous lives. Gets a lot of questions answered like this. Anything not based in fact is gossip. That's exactly what my 75-year-old mother with dementia said. Maybe he had a fight with her. True. There will still be discovery, though. Yes, and I said that earlier in my live, Danielle Marie. I said we have to wait for discovery. That's exactly what I said. But I love it when my people repeat me in comments, so it gets the point very across. So like I said, we'll have to wait for discovery. And like Danielle reiterated, we have to wait for discovery. So, and most of our questions did not get answered, you guys, until discovery came out on the Watts case. So it's not something that's going to happen overnight unless the confession ends up on YouTube, which I doubt it will until after sentencing. Watts was sentenced in January, you guys, and we got all that information in February. So it will be after sentencing. So then, let's see what else. Spray, you're too loud up in here. You're going to get kicked out. Let's see. Maybe Heidi's cell phone will help. Yeah, that's true. I just can't feel sorry for Shane. Heidi's friends stated many instances of domestic abuse, even showing pics of her bruises, and raped her. Maybe he acted guilty and was fearful because he was afraid he would be charged. Shane sounds like he was a bully, a woman abuser. Yes, and that's what I said. You guys are more than welcome to rake Shane across the coals for treating Heidi like crap. Yes, he was a horrible husband and he could have been a horrible father. And you are more than entitled to say that he did not treat Heidi perfect and that he was awful in the way that he treated her, that he didn't really care about her, he didn't love the baby. You are welcome to say all those things, because you are entitled to your opinion on that. But until you have more information about whether he knew about this or not, you cannot say that he was guilty. He could have been acting like that because he knew that it was going to come out how horrible he treated her. And maybe he felt bad that if she was gone, he would never get to say sorry. Let me tell you guys something of someone that has lost the two people that meant the most to her in her life. Actually, three, because I've lost a kid as well. I've lost three people that meant the most to me in my life. The day that you lose your mother or father, the day, the hour, the second that you are told every bad thing that you have ever said to that person comes flashing and flooding through your head and heart. And I mean every. So if you talk bad to your mom on a daily basis or your dad on a daily basis, you cuss them out on a daily basis, you raise your voice on a daily basis, then you will be haunted on a daily basis for the way that you talk to them while they were alive when they are dead. I will tell you that right now because I know I'm haunted all the time by the way that I treated that man from 14 to 21 when I thought my shit didn't stink and that I was better than everybody and I knew it all. And my mom too. I walked out of the house one day right before my mom was murdered, and she yelled, "Did you brush your teeth?" And I was so embarrassed because I hadn't brushed my teeth. But she called me out in front of everybody that I rode the bus with, and I walked past the house, and I didn't think she heard me, but I walked past the house and I said, "My mom is a B word," right? Well, I walked back in from school that day, and she's crying, has been crying for 8 hours straight because I called her a B word in ear's length of her. And I knew that she'd been crying for 8 hours a day. And it ate me alive when I found out that she was murdered, that I never got to sit down, look her in the eyes, and tell her that I didn't think that she was that. And I'm telling you, people, maybe when the thought that Heidi might not ever be coming back, it was eating him alive. Every single one of those things that he did to her and the torment that he put her through and the baby's not mine and the ugliness that he was the cause of, it's eating him alive, and it will eat you alive. So show respect to your mom and dad. If you treated them like crap your whole life, start today, you guys. Start today making up for that. Because you might not have, as long as you've treated them bad, you might not have that long to make up for it. If you've treated them bad for the last 4 years, you need to make up for it for 4 years. But they could get taken from you in 4 days. So just remember that. And then you're only left with your good memories, but the things that take over your mind and heart are the horrible things you did to them. I love you guys. Talk to you later.